It's always a good day to reflect on Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex's style. And Vanity Fair decided to do a wrap up of her 2024 style, calling it Dress to Invest. So let's get started. Thank you for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm so excited to bring you an article in Vanity Fair that wraps up Meghan's 2024 style called Dress to Invest, and I think that is a very apt title considering all the business moves that Meghan made this year and all of the stylish looks that she brought out. She has been on fire. So before we get into the list, if you have not already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to share so more people can find us. And now let's get into some of these looks. Today's Sussex style is coming to you directly from Vanity Fair. The title of this article is Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex's style in 2024, Dressed to Invest. The Duchess made her debut as a fashion investor this fall, and her international tours gave the spotlight to a few of her favorite brands, including Joanna Ortiz, Heidi Merrick, and Aquazzura, because of course. It's been just over 8 years since Prince Harry confirmed that he was dating the actor Meghan Markle, transforming the Suits star into a household name nearly overnight. I'm going to be honest, she was well on her way to that, though. She was really covering a lot of ground. I think she would have become a household name eventually, but she was already very famous. But let's continue. Though Meghan's official title and career ambitions have changed a few times during that period, one thing has remained constant. She continues to showcase her personal style, and when she wears an article of clothing, it will probably sell out. This year, Meghan discussed how the phenomenon called the Meghan Effect has shaped her own approach to dressing for the first time ever. In an August interview with the New York Times, the Duchess revealed that she had become an investor in Cesta Collective, a bag brand with a social mission, which has been a staple of her wardrobe since at least 2023. Quote, "I support designers that I have really great friendships with and smaller, up-and-coming brands that haven't gotten the attention that they should be getting," she told the newspaper. "That's one of the most powerful things that I'm able to do, and that's simply wearing like an earring." In addition to her forthcoming lifestyle brand, Meghan reportedly has between 5 and 10 companies in her portfolio, including Cesta Collective. Her investments also include Clevr, an innovative beverage company, PR firm 3 Gate Strategies, founded by her friend and employee, and Highbrow Hippie, a haircare line founded by her colorist Kadi Lee. But at this point, it is unknown whether she has investments in any other brands she often wears. Alongside her new role as a lifestyle entrepreneur, Meghan and Harry recommitted themselves to the type of public philanthropic work that makes international travel a necessity in 2024. On their technically not royal tours to Nigeria in May and Colombia in August, the Duchess melded those two aims through her wardrobe. With fashion diplomacy in mind, she wore brands with deep ties to the locations she visited, while keeping an overall emphasis on women-owned brands. Because, of course. On August 17th, her 2-track approach came together effortlessly. On a trip to a drum school in Cartagena, Meghan wore a patterned tank top with matching slacks by Joanna Ortiz, a Colombia-born designer who studied fashion in Miami. She accessorized with a Cartier Just Un Cloud necklace, earrings, and a pendant by Ariel Gordon, brown suede sandals from longtime favorite Aquazzura, and a tan bag from Cesta Collective. She actually owns 2 of the same style in different colors, having premiered the tan version at last year's Invictus Games in Dusseldorf. Meghan also incorporated pieces by Heidi Merrick, a Los Angeles-based designer, into her wardrobe all year, most notably during an April trip to Miami for the annual Cintabali Royal Salute Polo Tournament. She also wore a blush-colored dress by the brand on a school visit on the first day in Nigeria. An array of brands founded by women, including Sade, Victoria Beckham, Misha Nunu, Veronica Beard, Gabriella Hearst, Logan Hollowell, and Lisette, rounded out her looks this year. For red carpet nights, however, Meghan returned to some of her most loved brands from her royal days. She wore a reworked version of a familiar Carolina Herrera dress to pose with friend Kelly McKee Zaffin at a fundraiser for the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles on October 5th. When she joined Tyler Perry at the Paley Gala on December 4th, she wore a strapless Oscar de la Renta gown with a slit up the side and coquettish sweetheart neckline. After a few years where utility and quiet luxury reigned supreme in the Duchess and mother of two's wardrobe, Meghan still has a closet that is ready for show-stopping moments. I completely agree. And again, that article was written by Erin Vanderhood. I just wanted to take a super short break to say, if you have not already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you are interested, feel free to participate in the live chat going on now, or feel free to leave a comment if you do not wish to engage in the live chat. Once again, I know I do this all the time. I'm enjoying a channel, I'm enjoying the video, I'm just having a great time, and I completely forget to hit subscribe. So please don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you wish, and please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button so that the algorithm on YouTube knows that you like my content. Now, let's get back to the show. 2024 has definitely been one for the books when it comes to Meghan's style. Now, it feels like this year, both Harry and Meghan were just simply on fire. Every time we turned around, there was a new update on Sussex.com. They were launching a new initiative. They were furthering along another project. They were letting us in a little bit more. They were showing up at different places. They were really working hard this year. But every time we saw them, they were absolutely dressed to impress. And so all year they have truly been on fire, especially when it comes to their style, but even more so when it comes to their work and their impact. And so that's why it's really fun to not only cover them, but to just take a moment to actually acknowledge they have great couple style, and then individually they have really great style. I feel like this year was definitely Meghan's year for just tearing up red carpets. She has been killing it. I would even say for the last 3 years, her red carpet game has just been like chef's kiss, but she's always had impeccable style. So I'm not surprised that she's become more of a fashion innovator, and she's kind of changing the tide of what people see as fashionable and what people see as luxury, because Meghan has been doing I love that it's become more popularized, right? Like the quiet luxury thing, that has been pretty popular for a really long time. But in recent years, it's really become a staple, and it's really become like a look that people seek to achieve. But one of the things that I never want to miss is that Meghan has always dressed like that. Like that's never been like a thing to her. It's never been a trend for her. She's always appreciated quality pieces. She's always had like high-end taste, and she's always really been true to herself when it comes to her style. This is most evident when she sat down with Josie and Kristen Cavallari at New York Fashion Week many years ago. I think it might have been 2015. And she was talking about going to New York Fashion Week and how she learned so much, and how she was fashion was so integral to her as a person, but then also her character on Suits, and how it's just part of her life. You can also see a lot of her love for fashion if you go back to the archive of the TIG. So fashion has always been part of Meghan's whole shtick, her whole, not only just her celebrity, but just her as who she is. If you look back at her school pictures, she was always very dapper, and she was always really buttoned up and really fashionable. And she always kind of had that like grace and poise, and her clothes really reflected that. I don't feel like she's ever really been one to just hop on a trend. Now, I have seen images of her, especially in the early days, of her trying different things, and that's just having fun with fashion. But what I love most is if you actually go back to the old footage of her prior to entering the royal family, of her on red carpets, and then you look at her now, it's really similar. It's just an upgraded version. It's just, it's only elevated a little bit, but it's still the same principles that she had before. It's still the same type of look, like the backless white gown. We've seen her wear something like that. She had this amazing backless white jumpsuit at a dinner party one time. I think it was like a after party of a fashion show, and she wore this amazing backless white jumpsuit, and that was years before she entered the royal family. And so when not everyone, but many people were saying, "Oh, she's wearing backless things so that Kate can't copy her," and I was like, "Oh no, sweetie, Kate has nothing to do with this." I don't think Meghan thinks about Kate at all, just to be honest. When she gets dressed, she dresses for a purpose, and she dresses for her, because she's always just really been true to herself, especially when it came to her style. But back to my original point, I know that quiet luxury and stealth wealth is like the thing right now, but as a matter of fact, that's always just been Meghan's kind of like her outlook on clothes. She's never really been one to don like heavily logoed items. She's never been one to like don anything that was just kind of overt and in your face. She's tried different things with colors, as we've seen in the past, but she's never really been one that's like, I'm going to jump out at you. She has always had an elegance and a grace about her. And like I said, a poise, and her clothes have reflected that. She's always been kind of like a neutral tone, or as I like to say, balanced type of looks. She always does a great amount of balancing, like with her hair and the amount of fabric that she's showing, the amount of skin that she's showing, even the open or closed toe shoe. She's always been very intentional about creating that balance. And that's why her looks have stood the test of time. You could look at looks from Meghan in 2013 and 2014, and while they will reflect the times then, they are still the same core style principles that she embodies now. Like, she's never really been one for like a super, super deep V-neck. She's done things in photo shoots, just been a little bit more sexier in photo shoots, which is fine. But on red carpets, she's always covered up, and she has more of an implication of skin and a little implication of risque, but she never really does it all out. And she's always towed the line. I just find the way that she balances sexiness, sophistication, grace, poise to just be a model for what you're really looking to do, especially if you want your style to elevate with time and you want your style to become timeless. You have to stick to your principles despite trends or what's current. You have to just be you. And I find that her red carpet style is a really great way to look back on her life, but also you can just see her growth. You can see her change. You can see her evolve over time, but those principles are still the same. So this year, 2024, I know that they call it dress to invest, and I think that's so witty and so apt, but she has really been killing it. I know brands like sit and wait with their fingers crossed, like, I hope Meghan wears something of mine. Because I know, like, some people, I know she wore some earrings and they sent them to her and they were like, she's never gonna respond. She's never gonna wear these. And she did. So we talked about how she actually does favor small brands. We talked about that when we broke down the New York Times article. She favors small brands or up and coming brands that she wants to shine a light on. And I think Cesta Collective, especially with its root story, was really, really important to her. And I love how she intentionally called them out by name, because she has several investments, but she intentionally called out her investment with Cesta Collective by name. And just by doing that, they have been in the constant fashion conversation for months, whereas they weren't really mentioned before. So they were mentioned, obviously, when she wore them, but when she called them out by name in the New York Times and also opened up about investing in them, I have seen Cesta Collective mentioned several times in Vogue, in Elle, and Marie Claire, whereas they weren't really talking about Cesta Collective before. And that's the crux of the Meghan Effect. That is why she is so intentional about using her fashion as a more of a social choice, but still being true to her core style principles. I think putting all that intention into your looks, I'm not surprised that people are writing full-on articles about several appearances. Like, not even, like, she hasn't done like 40 appearances this year. It's only been like a handful, and people are still kind of talking about the red dress. They're talking about the black dress. They're talking about how she wore her hair. I got a few comments of people who differed in their opinion about her hair at the Paley the Paley honors. Now, again, that's the thing I love about fashion. You don't have to agree with me. Anything that's creative, anything that's creative and more like self-involved, because your style definitely represents you and yourself. Anything like that you have to be creative and express yourself through, it's subjective. And so no one is going to like 100% of everything you do. So it's important to just make note that you like everything 100% that you do, because there's always going to be a preference. Some people have written to me and been like, I don't like when you wear hats on camera. Like, okay. Okay, I don't care. But again, if you're going to put yourself out there, you have to know people will have an opinion, and some people don't really know what's important to share and what's not. You just take the good with the bad. So people will have an opinion. People wrote to me in the comments and via email. I need to do a mailbag episode where I just read emails and respond to them on camera, but I don't want to do. Some of them are crazy, but I got a couple of emails and comments saying, oh, I didn't like her hair at the Paley Gala, or I thought she should have done more of a smoky eye at the Paley honors. And I'm like, well, hey, listen, that's an opinion that you have a right to have. And sure, you have a right to share it because we're talking about it. It's part of the conversation around her appearance. But my recommendation is, sure, everybody has a preference. I'm not going to like everything everybody does. That's okay. Everything is not for everyone. But make note of those things. Like when you see something, like let's say Meghan wears a dress and you're like, oh, I don't really care for that dress. It should have looked this way, or she should have done this to it, or she should have done her hair differently. Make a note of that, because in those moments where you're critiquing other people's style, not the person, but the style, Make note of that so that you can start to build your own style principles. And you can say, hey, when I wear black, I want more of a smoky eye. Or hey, when my back is out, I want my hair down. I don't want it up. You can make those choices for yourself. So I think it's great to dissect people's style and look on red carpets because they know that's going to happen. As long as you're not being an ass to the person, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to dissect style, make a note of that. I absolutely do that. I've seen pictures of myself like out and about, and I'm like, ooh, girl, maybe not a baby doll dress. Because I have really short legs, and sometimes baby doll dresses can make me look frumpy. And so I made a note. I was like, maybe we don't want to do baby doll dress. Like as you continue to observe other people's style and then also reflect on your own, as you evolve, you will continue to find things that are more true to yourself in every phase of life and represent you well. And as people look at you, they'll probably have a preference. Hopefully they're polite and they don't share it because who cares? But that's not always the case. But yeah, I've had people outright just say like, oh, I don't like those shoes. You should have worn different shoes. And I'm like, well, then go buy different shoes and you wear them. I don't care what you think. Like, I'm not as nice as some people. Like, because some stuff is just not necessary. Like, geez, okay, who cares that you don't like it? But that's the name of the game. Fashion, music, art in general, creativity in general is subjective, and people will have differing opinions. I don't get offended when people don't agree with me. I get offended when people are rude. Like that, I will just block you. But it's okay to share your opinion, and it's always okay to disagree with me. That is never a problem. It's also okay to say, hey, I don't really like that outfit on Meghan. I think she should have worn something different. What I actually had an issue with, and I think I had a whole video on this a couple of years ago, was when people were commenting on her weight and how the size of her clothes. I was beside myself because I just feel like that's already in bad taste. That's just in poor taste to criticize someone's body. That's just disgusting. Genuinely, that's disgusting. People like that need help. But to then share those opinions is crazy to me. And I was so put off by that. That's the only time I've ever addressed like criticism about Meghan's taste because listen, she can wear what she wants and you don't have to like it or you can't like it. I'm sure she doesn't care. But it's okay to have an opinion. It's not okay to be cruel. It's not okay to be an ass. And criticizing someone's body, that is not okay. Whether you're saying she's too skinny or too big or whatever, it's not your place to say that. She's the size that she is. And if she likes it, who are you to say she shouldn't? I've had people criticize my body my whole life. Like when I was young, I was super, super bony. And everybody always commented on it. And it used to hurt my feelings so bad. I used to like try to overeat to gain weight because everyone would say, oh, she looks sick or she looks bony when I was just a kid who was shaped like a kid. And then when I got older and I gained weight, everyone, oh my God, you need to lay off the sweets. I know you got a sweet tooth, but dang. And I've even had comments on my videos where like, Sharion, you are fat. I remember when I did the Project Power video about Meghan, and she did the Project Power appearance and engagement. And we did a video covering it. And then in that video, we bought the sweater and I was wearing it on camera. And I buy the sweaters to be bigger because I like them. But even if it was the right size, I don't care. Someone was like, Sharion, you look awful. You are fat. You need to get it together. Like, and when I tell you, like, you could tell that they were crashing into that keyboard, like, you are fat. Like Regina George was writing in that Burn book on Mean Girls. Like, that's how they were typing. It was like, most of it was in caps, no punctuation to be found. I said, this looks like a ransom note. And so I read it and I read it to my husband and he obviously got like, well, don't listen to them. I was like, listen. Nobody has to tell me to stop reaching for the last roll. I'm going to do it and I'm going to regret it later. And that's just who I am in this phase of life. When I'm ready to lose weight, I will stop buying candy and I will stop buying sweets and I will stop. Like, I'm more aware of my body than anyone else could ever be. So I'm comfortable with me. So when people have an opinion, when they choose to share even negative opinions, when I was young, it used to hurt my feelings. Now I'm like, okay, and so you got eyes and you can see. What the hell that got to do with me? But that's because I've learned to just accept that people will project. If they're not happy with themselves, then they will look for something to criticize about you because happy people genuinely don't act like that. But I get really defensive when I see people do it to others. Like with me, I can take it in stride because I know what it means. Like I know that you have an internal problem, so it doesn't offend me. And I also love myself. I also like myself. So it doesn't get under my skin. But when I see it happen to other people, that's like when I get irritated. Like I remember once a family member commented on my niece and they were actually giving her a compliment. They commented on her shape. And I was like, why are you noticing that? And they're like, oh no, she's just got a nice little hourglass. I said, she's a child. She has a body that fits her. She's an athlete. She eats healthily and she's a beautiful girl. Her body is of no concern to you. Why are you commenting or even recognizing her body? Like I was kind of, I know they were like, shit, she is an asshole, but I am. I don't like that when people comment on bodies or things like that. I think it's just ugly. It doesn't, there's no purpose in it. It does not benefit anyone. And there's nothing positive to be gained from commenting positively or negatively about someone's actual body, like the vessel they live in. It's just not right. And so that's where I draw the line. But as far as liking her style, my style, anybody's style, you have at it. What I will say is make it productive though. If you're going to criticize, take some notes and say, you know what? I actually don't like when she wears her hair like that. So maybe I should review how I wear my hair because I want to have a certain effect. And instead of projecting that on Meghan, maybe I should just try to achieve that for me. I just think everything should be done with productivity in mind. And how is this progressive? How is this going to help me? Because criticizing is easy, but learning can be fruitful. Learning can be a positive thing. Well, it is a positive thing. Learning can make that productive as opposed to just saying, I don't like that necklace and I don't like that bracelet. Okay, don't wear it. That's all I can tell you. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on Meghan's style this year in 2024. She's definitely been just killing it. I can't say that enough. We've had a lot of Sussex styles this year, like a lot, especially on the member side. We've had a lot of Sussex styles because, I mean, she's just been killing it. I've really been impressed with both her and Harry. Like since Harry left the royal family, and honestly, since Harry met Meghan, let's just be honest, since Harry met Meghan, he has really found looks that work for him. And he's also found his own style principles. And just together and apart, they have really found a way to express themselves through their fashion and their style. And they're never overt. Neither of them are. I remember when he had the Dior shirt and we all just saw the little bumblebee in the corner. Like it wasn't like this logo down, Louis Vuitton, LV to the ground. Like it wasn't any of that. It was still very classy, very demure. It was still very chic, but also kind of muted and reserved and poised. That is the goal. And I think that's I think that's why they are innovators right now. But I think that's the goal for everyone should be how to express yourself in the way that's true to you. Even if you do want logo down, go for logo. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want bright colors, go for it. Express yourself. And no one has the right to tell you not to. Just please make sure you're covered up around kids. Like, I've seen some people wearing booty shorts to schools and I'm like, why are you going to your child's school with your butt out? Now that is where I draw the line as well. Like, now why are you showing it all with your butt out or graphic tees that say curse words? Like people have just lost the plot when it comes to protecting innocence. Anyway, this video has gone off the rails. We need to come on back. Meghan's style in 2024 was epic. I know that 2025 is going to be even better. I'm excited to see what looks she pulls out. And also something that I've been doing for my own little selfish reasons is when she's wearing things and when we're doing our Sussex styles, I'm learning about new brands. I'm like, oh, okay, I like them. And if they have something in my price range, here we go. I'm gonna buy something. Like I learn a lot from watching her style and several other people and really talking about their style. I learned about new brands and new ways to wear certain things like that maybe I wouldn't have thought about, like her tan off the shoulder dress at the Power of Women event on that red carpet with her hair pulled back. I love the way that usually like off the shoulder is a little bit more wide, like that loop is a lot more wide. And I love that they went with the narrow off the shoulder look. I just thought that was so cool. And it only showed like a touch of the shoulder. And usually it goes much deeper, like the loop will go much lower. So you'll see a lot more shoulder. And I love the way that they had that it wasn't just so open and it was just a little bit more put together. Those are the types of things, like those little details that really resonate to me. And that just comes from really knowing your style, your personal style, knowing your own personal message and really dressing for yourself. And that, if you take anything away from watching Meghan's style or any of the Sussex style videos that we do, if you take anything away, I would say the best thing to take away is be true to yourself and dress in a way that makes you feel good. Dress in a way that makes you feel like the best version of you. And if somebody comments something negative to you or about your body, send it to me. I'm gonna start charging 25 cents. I'll cuss them out. Let me know. No, I'm just kidding. Ignore people. People will always have something negative to say. Trust me. If people can find something negative to say about a holiday card, people can find something negative to say about you. Just let them be negative in peace and you dress however you want to. So that's all I have for you guys today. Oh, wait, before I go, one thing I hope to see Meghan do in 2025 at some point or soon in some point, I really want to see her wear another hat. She kills hats and gloves. She kills it. Like the way she wears her hats, and it's never exactly the same. The way she wears her hats is just, it's just very, I don't even know the word. Just chic is all I keep coming back to. Just very posh, just very like, you know, you're that girl. Like when she wears a hat, like that's where I remember when Mariah Carey said the same thing, that the diva comes out, and we talked about that with archetypes. That's when you can see it. Like she knows who she is. She might be humble, but there are moments where she shows up and says, "Don't forget who I am," and it's almost always when she's wearing a hat. I hope we get more hat moments, but here's hoping. Anyway, if you take anything away from this, be true to yourself. And I hope your style continues to evolve and reflect you at your truest form. And I hope you are supported in those decisions. And if you're not, come here because I support you. That's all I have for you guys today. This was so much fun. I hope we get more opportunities to do Sussex styles, i.e. Meghan, hit more red carpets. I can't wait. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And then I also have a question for each of you. I've been really enjoying getting to know y'all in the comment section. So I've been asking more intentional questions to get to know you guys. But I want you to answer this question for me. What is one style principle you live by? Like if you had no other principle, this would be the one. So I'll start. My style principle is always dress in a way that's going to be comfortable for where you are. Because there have been moments where I've wanted to do something cute or fun, and I wore the outfit thinking of what the pictures would look like, but I didn't think about what it would be like to live in that outfit at that venue. And you know, it kind of was a bad thing at one point. This is where I learned that lesson. Was I was invited to a boat party for my girlfriend's birthday, and I wore a pencil skirt and a tube top. It was very cute. It was like no, it's not a tube top, a bandeau top, and it was very cute and so adorable. But a pencil skirt is not. I mean, a boat is not the best place to wear a pencil skirt. I was so freaking uncomfortable. My thighs were sweaty. Like I was like, wait, it's hot. Why did I do this? And so I changed into some shorts that she had, but then I was over there in a bandeau top and little shorts. So I already felt naked. So like the point of wearing the bandeau top is because I had this long skirt. So it was a nice balanced look. I had a little skin up top, but you couldn't see my legs. Then I changed because I was sweating like a hog and I just looked like a whole bag. But no, I was 21, so it's okay. That's the time to have fun and do all that. But I look back at those pictures and I'm like, okay, body, yaddy, yaddy. But ma'am, cover up. Cover up. And so that is where I got the principle to always dress for the venue and the event that you're going to, and make sure those clothes can be lived in at that location. That's my style principle. So let me know in the comments, what is your favorite style principle, or let me know all of your style principles. What are the fashion and style rules that you live by? That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Meghan, keep tearing up those red carpets, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.